Welcome everyone, Madman bringing you another RSL video. So today we're going to cover champ training, whether it be a tourney or events. Now I know I've kind of done this before, but this is a slightly different view. And have we been looking at things wrong? We've been told, hey, take your food, do so many brews, maybe a few one-star chickens, and that'll get you the most points or whatever. And that's most efficient. Well, most efficient based on what? Time? Probably. Energy? Probably. Coin? No. Brews? No. Chickens? No. So, what is that efficiency based on? And I'm going to try and give you a little more guidance on here. So, this is my free to play, and I've already completed the champ training tournament. I've gotten past the points or whatnot, but I tracked I've been tracking the whole thing for other purposes, but on this and my main account, of course, this one is free to play. So, all the champ training was during 2 times XP, but that's it. Where my main's slightly different because I got the Forge Pass, so I got a little more bonus there. But anyway, so we're actually going to jump over here to the spreadsheet, and I'll try and make my points. Hopefully, it'll be helpful here. Okay, so here real quick, we can kind of see breakdown. 1-star chicken, how much XP it takes to go to each next level, 2-star, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 6. The highlighted yellow spots, well, that's where 1 brew gets you. And then, so 3 brews will get you to here, so on. And then when you start getting down in here, it might take 3 or 4 brews just to actually get to the next level because the XP requirements get crazy there. So that is where the question comes in. Is 2 brews, 5 brews right here in a chicken to get to, say, level 23? Is that really that efficient? That's 6 points. That's 6 points. But that 1 brew, that nets me a lot more than just 6 points. Not quite as many for that 2nd brew. About the same for the 3rd. But beyond the 3rd, you start really diminishing. So is 3 brews better? Is 1 brew better? And of course, are you really brewing up 6-star champions? You might, but generally, if you're taking them a 6-star, you're going to grind them up through Minotaur or whatever. And of course, this is going to mainly apply to the free to play and the low spenders. If you're a Kraken or a whale, none of this is probably going to be very beneficial, but it can be if you want to save your energy or some of your resources. But again, on the 5-star and the 4-star, you jump way here, a lot more points for that 1st brew, not as many for the 2nd, and you start getting diminishing returns on the 3rd. So where is actually the benefit of putting more brews? What makes that most efficient? I don't know. That's based on what? That's the whole conundrum there. So anyway, this is kind of the breakdown of the chart real quick here of XP with chickens and all of that. I want you to notice this. Notice, there's a correction. You start at level 1, not level 0 on any star food. Therefore, in a 1-star, you can go up to 10, but you start at level 1, so you only got 9 levels worth of points, and you get 1 point per level. So you're getting 9 points, not 10. You still get 1 point per level on a 2-star, but you start at 1. So when you get to 20, you only get 19 points, not 20. So on and so forth for the 4-star, 5-star. And like I said, we're not really worried about 6-star during champ training, because the whole point in champ training, right, 1 is to get the fragments. That's the first goal. But then the kind of a inherent secondary goal is to make as many 5-star chickens so that you can feed them into the champ you want to turn into a 6-star champion. So real quick, we'll kind of go over this. So 1 brew is equal to 18,750 XP. There's kind of what energy value is based off of 8 energy used and 12-3 campaign. A 1-star chicken's worth 1,600 XP. A 2-star is worth 3,520. a 3-star is worth 6,400, and so on. And then this battle here, now that's spread across the 3. It's technically like 8,000 more, a little over 8,000, like 8,672 or something like that XP more that goes to your farming champ, but he's already level 60, so you kind of lose that. But anyway, those are those values. And then to take a 3 2-stars in campaign up to max, you're going to get 57 points. It's going to take 10 battles at a total of 80 energy, and then you can see the points per energy. So you can see for the 3, 4, and 5 stars. So 5 stars is the most efficient, which is crazy, but because you don't get a whole lot of points way later on. But then 3 stars are actually the best, and then 4 stars. And then coin. So when you use a 1-star as food, not only, if you use a brew, that's 7,000 coin per brew. If you use a 1-star chicken, that's another 900 on top of that. So that gives you an idea there. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. Don't use a 2-stars chicken as food. You used 1 brew and 5 1-star chickens to make that 2-star. So you're well over 25,000 plus experience to get 3,500. Why in the hell would you do that? Don't do that. All right, so what we've kind of been shown is don't worry about the 1-star. Actually, don't worry about the 2-star, but in case you wanted to brew it, if you took a 2-star, you leveled it up, you ranked it, you're going to get 34 points. That's if you don't rank up your food. If you put 1 brew in and rank up your food, you get another 9 points, and it takes 2 food, so you're going to get a total of 52 points. So it can be beneficial, but again, we're going to skip this. On this one, we get 58 points. Remember, that's 29 points, and then times 2, so that's 58. We rank it up to 4-star. That's 50 points there for a total of 108. That's if we don't rank up our food. We rank up our food to a level 11. We get 20 points, and it takes a total of 3, so we end up at 168. Now, if you can see here, that's the total amount of XP, right? To go from level 1 all the way to level 30, that's the total amount of XP. But if we sit there and between brews and chickens, we're losing that much XP. It's just going to waste, feeding it into, the chicken, not the champ we're going to rank. So, same thing here, level 3, 217 points is what you're going to get total. If you don't put any leveling into your food, if you level to 15, which is just 2 brews, you're going to get 42 points per, and you're going to have 4 food for a total of 385. So you get massive point jumps by definitely brewing your food. But is that the most efficient? Again, with the 5-star, 594 versus 1,194. But we're losing 39,000 XP, and that's per champ. So per food, 4 food. So 4 times that, 78,200 XP lost on 5 food. That 21,950 lost on 3 food. So what does that mean? Well, let's go to the next area. All right. So here's where we want to kind of explain this, right? And maybe I can put it into a scenario of layman terms here. For those of you who asked, you want to get from LA to New York City. For those of you in Europe, you want to go from, say, Paris to Berlin. There's several different ways to do it. All these are going to be land ways, right? So first off, are you the whale, the Kraken? You're probably in a Lamborghini. You mid-tier spinners, your nice Mercedes or whatever, low-tier spinners, even cheaper sedan, and then your free-to-play or your free-to-play new start players, you're in a Volkswagen Beetle. Doesn't really matter what vehicle you have. But, so brews, chickens, coin, energy, they're all different kind of factors here. Can you just jump in the Lamborghini and go 200 miles an hour to get where you want to go? Okay, great. But then there's other, for the rest of us, especially free to play and low spend or whatnot, there's other factors, right? So your brews and all that stuff. Is it raining? How long did the boss give me off? Do I only have 2 days to get there and get back? Or do I have a week vacation so I can take my time getting there and coming back? Am I taking the kids with me? So we're going to take all kinds of potty breaks or stop for food. Is my car fuel efficient or not? How many times are we going to have to stop for gas? So all those are little factors, and those equate to, like I said, energy, brew, chickens, how many runs, coins. Those are all little factors. So there's no one size fits all. But hopefully, after seeing what this chart show you and me explaining them, you'll get an idea of maybe I can tailor how I want to approach champion training to get either the maximum use out of my energy or my brews, depending on what resources you have. So, first thing is just farming all, right? You farm everything in campaign. You farm it up, then you level all of it. Now, option one, you're going to brew your 1-stars to max, right? So 1 brew, 3 level 1 champions, you get them to level 2. And then from there, you're farming all of them up. But you're not putting any more XP into the feeder champs. You're just leveling up the champs you're going to rank up. That's it. Option 2 is the same thing, except for, no. Option 2 is you're going to farm again to max. It's 3 runs. And then your 2-star food, you're going to put 1 brew in. Same with the 3, 4, and 5-star. You're only going to put 1 brew that's in the food, not the one you're going to rank up. Option 3, same thing as option 2, except for we're going to brew that 1-star, and then we're still going to stick 1 brew in everything. Option 4 is we're back to farming that 1-star up to max, but then we're going to put brews per level food, right? So our 2-star food gets 2 brews, 3-star food, 3 brews, so on and so forth. Now remember, the food is food, not the one that's going to max level so that it can get ranked up. Option 5 is the same thing, except for we're brewing that 1-star up instead of farming. Now option 6, we're going to farm to max. Now, instead of putting brews in our food, we're going to put our brews in our take to max rank up champion. So on our 2-star that we're going to take to level 20, we're going to put 2 brews in, and then we're going to do 3 runs of campaign. This is all assuming 12-3 campaign. And then once we get to 3-star, we're going to put 3 brews in, and we're going to run 17 runs to get it up to level 30. Now remember, you're doing 3 at a time. So the brews are still going in, but it's not going into food and getting just XP lost to oblivion. We're actually putting that XP into the champs that we're going to rank up to the next level. Now, option 7, again, farm to max, but this time we're going to get the same thing as above, 2 brews and 3 runs into the champ we want to rank up. That's 2-star. 3 brews, 17 runs for this 3-star, but this time on the 4-star, we're going to put 2 brews and 1 chicken, and then 48 runs. That'll actually get us, I think, to level 15 on the 4-star, and then finish off with runs. So that's that option there. Again, brews going into the rank up champs, not the food champs. Option A is just a different option of option 6, where we're brewing instead of farming. But again, 2 brews, 3 runs, 3 brews, 17 runs. And then option 9 is the same like option 7. We're brewing though instead of farming that 1-star to max. And then we're doing the 2-star starting with 2 brews and 3 runs. And I need to make a correction on these. I apologize, but real quick, and I'll show you what we're actually putting: 3 brews in the 2-star chickens and 3 brews in the 3-star. So I need to correct all of these real quick, so bear with me there. That way y'all, it will be a lot more clear. I apologize for not catching that earlier. So again, option 9 is a form of option 7, except for we're brewing that 1 star to max instead of farming it. But again, all the same chickens. Now the last one is kind of like the scenario where you saw up above. We brewed the 1 star to max, and then the food, not the champ, we're going to rank up. So 3 star gets 1 brew and 2 chickens. That takes it to a level 11, I believe. 4-star food gets 2 brews and 1 chicken. That takes it to level 15. And then 5-star gets 4 brews and 2 chickens. And I think that was level 21. Anyway, fairly efficient as far as the points, but that's going into food, not your rank up champs. So let's look at this first chart here. This is normalized to 10,000 points, right? So that'll more than cover getting your fragments on any champ training event, plus get you some bonus stuff. So we just normalized it to that amount. Regular farming, though, is least efficient. So the red highlights are the least efficient, the green are the most efficient, and the blue is roughly average. So just farming is the worst on energy, and of course the worst on runs. But it's the best on giving you coin and chickens. Now notice, making a 5-star champ or farming up to 10,000 points is going to give you a total of 4.39 5-star champions or chickens. Same with option 2, we're just brewing and then farming. So not as bad on the energy, but we're using a lot more brews. The worst amount of chickens, but we drop our runs down. Of course, this is coin made. Now, this coin here, let me explain. I summed up the cost of chickens, then the cost of putting chickens in brew into whatever food or rank up champions, and then the cost to rank them up, and so on and so forth. And then these numbers are actually the bottom line, because if you farm 12-3 campaign, and it's all assuming 12-3 on brutal, you get 11,000 coin per run no matter what. Now, you might get some more mystery shards, you might get some 2 or 3-star chickens, or you might get some gear that you can sell. So I just went with the bottom line because you might be able to make a larger difference. So if you're low on coin, though, and you've got plenty of energy, then you might want to just straight farm, right? Get that more coins so that you can handle that artifact enhancement. But it's going to at the cost of energy and runs. What does runs actually mean? Your time. Do you have 4 hours for doing farming campaign? Or, are you a busy person? You got a family to take care of, you got to cook and clean for them, plus you got to work, and you only got maybe 4 hours total to do everything you need to do in Raid a day. You might even have less than that. So those are some outside factors you got to consider too. So option 1, of course, is the worst on chickens, but chickens for the most part are probably my minority concern, right? Because you're going to get 1 or 2-star chickens from mystery shards. So as long as you got a reasonable amount of mystery shards, you'll be fine. They're least important. Brews are a little bit harder to get, and energy. But to me, the number 1 asset within all of Raid is coin. If you can't rank your gear up, or you can't level up your champ, a Prince Kaimar is no good sitting at level 5, or, a 5-star level 1 with no gear. My 6-star, full level 60, fully mastered, fully ascended Warbane will whip his butt every damn day. So, but that coin to upgrade the equipment comes in extremely handy. And then, of course, energy is next, because you need that for farming Minotaur, and then books or whatever. As far as that goes, of course, you need the energy to farm the potions. So that's second. Books are out of this equation here. Anyway, you can kind of see here. So real quick, option 9, this is the best for energy, but it is terrible for brews, and it's going to cost you coin to do it. So if you don't have a lot of coin, probably not the best option, but quickest time. Now, option 10, which is again another rank up food, not rank up or level up your ranking champions. That's kind of the mean average there on 2 spots on the runs. Of course, that coincides with the energy. Whereas this and the blue, like I said, is the median, right? So we're pretty close to it. Option 7 here, right? 365 brews, 4,368 energy, pretty modest. Option 5 looks pretty good right now as far as energy goes, but it's going to cost us. We're losing money there. But this one we're going to make a little money, not too crazy on the runs, not too crazy on energy, and it's a reasonable amount of brews and a reasonable amount of chickens. So you can just kind of see there. And this one yields us 4.39 chickens per 10,000 points, whereas this one only gives us 3.6. Because remember, the secondary goal is to get as many 5-star chickens as possible so we can get the champs we want to level 6. And then the worst ones here, 3.2 and then 2.8 is just pitiable. So where does that put us? Well, let's normalize all this information based on getting 5-star chickens, right? So we want to normalize these all to 5. And then let's see how much energy and everything else we need. So if you normalize all that, all these 4.39s, they're the worst points, but they're still well above what you're going to need to get the fragments. You're going to get some bonus stuff. A lot of events you're pretty close to, if not already, at the max reward anyway. So, taking something to 15,000, 17,000, I don't think I've seen higher than 14. So that's just a waste of points and energy and resources just to get the 5-star chickens. So that might be a factor that you want to think about. Again, farming campaign here is the worst on energy. But if you look, this second option right here, that's pretty moderate right there. But then if we go up to 5-star chickens, we're just, 10 energy difference. All right, so, wait 30 minutes. But that's the difference there. As you can see, option 10 is not looking as hot, right? All of a sudden, as far as chickens go, it is the worst instead of just kind of in the median there. It's pretty close to the median as far as runs. You make a small amount of coin, but it's pretty high, way high chickens, way high brews. Now, that's very high chickens, may not be a bad option. This one would be super great if you're low on energy, but you've got enough coin and a fair amount of mystery shards and brews. This one's not as bad, similar as far as energy cost, but a little less brews, same amount of chickens, but you don't have to do as many runs, not cost you many coins. So what I found is kind of option 6 or option 7, and that is putting 3 brews into your ranking champs, not your food, for 2 stars and 3 stars, and then of course this one is also 4 stars. It gains you slight advantage. Is fairly optimal, and farm it right now. To cut it down here, again, if you start brewing, then you start losing a lot of money because it costs a lot to brew all those 1-star. It's just 3 runs, so you can pretty quickly do those 1-star chickens. But you can see moderate at 5,000, so that's right about the median, and that's pretty close to the median. Of course, this is pretty close to the median. Same with option 3, and then we get higher and stuff. So 416 and option 6 pretty close to the median. We're almost dead on with this option 10 here, and it's not taking as many chickens either. Now obviously that's the best one, but then 295, so this is the second best as far as brews go, but we're not too far off, a little over 100 brews. That's not actually too bad. But then the runs, 120 runs, so not that many runs. It's going to save you a lot of time. So this is definitely a better option for time saver, and it doesn't take too long to throw in 2 brews of chicken, boom, hit upgrade, and then start taking that stuff and campaign farming it. Plus, we're going to end up with at least almost 2.5 million coin to help us for artifact enhancement or whatnot. So, on average, I would say option 6 or option 7. But again, what is important to you? Do you want a bunch of 5-star chickens? Is energy a concern? You know, energy is always a concern in free play. Of course, so is coin. So maybe you ought to stick somewhere here where you get modest amount of coin and you're using a modest amount of energy. But then if you got more brews, that will help speed things up. Chickens, like I said, lowest priority. Runs is going to be your time. But you can look at this and now you can decide what's best for you. Do I brew my food or do I brew my ranking champions and actually utilize that XP to my advantage instead of just kind of throwing it by the wayside to hurry up and get to those fragment points that we want? Hopefully that was helpful. Now, one quick thing I want to show you here real quick for those that are super Krakens and don't want to play by the rules and don't have that Lamborghini and just want to take a Learjet to get from A to B. You want to take that Learjet to get A to B? Brew it all up. It's going to cost you 13.5 million to get to a 6-star, but that's going to be more than enough points to hit max, and it will probably take you an hour to do all those brews because you've got all kinds of brews, all kinds of, I mean, it's only 1,300. That's not too terribly bad. Remember, that's spread out, right? I mean, that doesn't mean it has to be all red brews or blue brews. It can be a mixture. But that'll give you the points you need, and that'll give you the total cost. So you want to sit there and be the whale Kraken and use a Learjet to get to A to B instead of the rest of it, be my guest. There you go. Now the rest of all this is just my normalization charts here for information for the different ways or methods that I tried out. And then of course, you know, this 2-star, 3-star, why I put this information here? Well, if you pull a 2-star instead of a 1-star chicken for mystery shards, or heaven forbid you can pull a 3-star, that's how many points you got to make up. And you got to make up those difference. So that's going to bring those numbers down. But you get higher ranked chickens. So it's a trade-off. One last thing I want to cover before we go back is I did, again, track the information between my main account and, of course, my free-to-play. All right. So this top one here, this was the champ training event. This is the champ training tournament. This is all based on my free-to-play because, you know, that was 2 times XP, farming 12-3, minus a few runs, and I mean under 10 of 12-7 because that was the daily challenge. But that is considered in there as far as energy cost or whatever. I partially normalized because I kind of overshot the 8,000 mark and way undershot the 5,350 mark. So I apologize for that, but it was fairly linear. So I just went ahead and normalized to 8,000 points and 5,350 and instead of where I actually landed. So this is the actual. It actually took me 3,259 energy, 181 brews, and 407 runs. Now the predicted amount from those normalization charts was only 2,632 energy, but 315 brews and 329 runs. So you notice more brews, less runs, less brews, more runs, and of course more runs mean more energy, less runs means less energy. Again, with the 5,350 mark, which was the first set of fragments, actually 2179 and 121 brews, and then 272 runs versus a predicted 220, 211, and 1760. So not too far off. But so what happened? You know, I could do it, but I just don't want to take the time to sit there and figure out how much 1-star chickens versus 2 or 3-star that you get between campaign and or pulling mystery shards, how much they factor in. But one of the biggest factors is I actually made 7 5-stars during this event, and the predicted is only 2.67 based on this method and those point levels. So I had a lot of 4-star chickens ready to be leveled up and then ranked up to 5. So that's why more energy, more runs, that's probably the biggest factor there. Now, the tournament, I made 3 5-stars with a predicted of 2.6. So that skews the numbers a little bit. A lot more lower stuff to brew up, but I did have a few left over, the higher stuff. So we just overshot by 32 points, but we actually used 1908 energy, 180 brews, and it took us 238 runs total to get to that point level. And then put that in and through the normalized, and we're almost half as many energy predicted, but almost twice as many brews, and then not quite half as many runs. So what was happening, I was running probably a lot more 3 and 4 stars than the 2 stars and the 1 stars. And that's part of that. Again, at this point here, same thing at the lower 2952, so I think it was 2950. So we're 2 points off, or maybe it was 2900. Anyway, we're really close there. But it actually took 1240 energy and then 108 brews at 155 runs versus the predicted, which is about half the amount in energy, but almost twice the amount in brews and half the amount in runs. So there's real life kind of comparison. It took more energy. So that's just going to depend on what you got available, right? Actually having more food ready to go is going to kind of cost you, because you're going to want to start with running those 4 stars through. So it's a lot more runs. You'd think that'd be beneficial, but it's not as beneficial as you think. So, but I ended up with more 5 stars than predicted, right? I wouldn't even have a total of 5 if I went with predictions, and I made 10. So I more than doubled the amount of 5 stars. So now I can make 2 6 stars instead of not quite being able to make 1. And that's the ultimate goal, along with getting the fragments. Going to switch over. Want to show you one thing real quick, and then we'll go back to the account. Okay, real quick. I know this is busy, but just pass this on, right? So we have our 1 stars, and then we convert them to 2 stars. So what we have, that's just position. As you can see here, right? If we farm, we got to buy 2 chickens, so that's 1,000. They're 500 a pop, so 1,000 coin, and we get 2 1-star chickens. And then for every 6 of those, we do 1 run per, but we got to do three runs and 3 at a time. So that's the energy consumed, and then we get a full 1-star level 10 chicken, and we get 3 of those, and that gains us 9 points each, so it's 27 points total. And then we convert them to 2 stars, so that cost us 1,500 coin, but we get 5 more points per, and we end up with 3 2 stars. Again, same thing here. This is the count numbers, so 1,000 is what it costs to purchase the chickens. 8 energy for all the runs. We get a bunch of 1 stars. Then we get the points for leveling them all up. Then the cost to rank them up, the points for ranking them up, and now we get more 2 stars. So we break that down. We went further, so we need 9. So you can see that's way more here. Here's the point totals, but here's our yield. 9, 2, and 126 chickens, and then we convert those 9. We're just rolling them over so that boom, we get 3 stars. So you can see 80 energy to run those 3 up. That's, 8 energy, 10 runs. We get our 3 20s. We got 19 points per for those for 57. It costs us 4,000 to upgrade them, and we get another 15 points per upgrade to get to 3-star chickens. Again, so we get a yield of 3, and then we also get 228 points for all that. So here, unfortunately, we got to do things to where it comes into factors of 3, right? Because when we're farming, you want most effectively to run things at 3 at a time. So it takes a whole lot of 1-stars, a whole lot of 2-stars. But so this is just an expanded version of this, and then of course for to convert to the 5 stars, you got to run all of this 5 times, all of that 6 times to get you the 6-star. But that's not uber realistic as far as 6 stars. The 5 stars are what we're shooting for. But again, so you can see the coin, what chickens we're getting, the points, where we end up, more points, the cost, more points, where we end out, and then same process, whittling it down until we get to our ultimate goal of the 5-star chickens. And then you can see the runs here, right? So I just broke it down, all of this, what it costs in runs, brews, chickens, coins, whatnot, to sit there and get, and then there's where my per 1, 2-star chicken, those are the kind of amount of resources I need. Same thing for 3-star, 4-star, based on what method. This is just farming. As you can see, I did all these other ones with all the other scenarios, whether it be brews, brewing up to 1-star, farming them, and whatnot. And that's how I came up with my conversion tables. All right. Now, hopefully, I've drilled that home. Let's go back to the account, and we'll give you a little bonus material. All right, so you saw my breakdown, and hopefully now you've got a little better thought process as to what might benefit you the most. Everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to be different. I don't have much energy. I don't have much energy saved up, but I got it all done. I got plenty of gems if I want to go that route, but I'm trying right now. I'm keeping track. I am using gems because I'm not shorthanding myself when I don't have to, but I keep track. If you're free to play and you're on limited budget, limited resources, or low spend, do you think you have enough resources to do fusion or not? So that's why I'm tracking everything, kind of get some totals there. But so the champ training event, that's the hardest one. That's why they put it all the way up to 8,000 to get the top there. Some of the events actually went to 9350 just to get the fragments. So that's a lot of resources. So how do you want to tackle that? That's the great thing about the normalization charts. I can go ahead and punch in, okay, what's the point requirement to get those fragments, and then figure out, based on what resources I have, how to get there best. I'm low on energy. Got a fair amount of coin. If I come over to the tavern, I got quite a bit of brews. So that's definitely helpful. And I got plenty of mystery shards. So I could go the coin route and use mystery shards and brews, get there quicker, and save me a bunch more energy for the other stuff. Or that might not be enough coin. So I might want to find a more blended comp, knowing that I'm going to pick up some energy here or there. Or I convert some of these gems. But the bonus material I wanted to give you, so on champ training event, you're just out of luck, right? You level up champs. That's how you get your points. But on the champ training tournament with which we are in, here's another easy boost, especially like this particular fusion where we just finished a CVC while champ training tournament was going on. It's a perfect opportunity to do this. We go to info here. All right, we level up. Here's our points. We rank them up. Here's our points. Oh, if we ascend them and book them, we get more points. So that legendary you've been holding off the book, oh, you book them during CVC, that's great points there. Look at that, 200 points per book. on average about 10 books. That's 2,000 points right there, booking up that legendary you have been waiting to book up. 75 for each epic tome for those epics you want to book up. Even if you want to book the rare, there's some points there. On top of that, if you ascend them with the brews and stuff, or the potions, sorry, if you ascend them, you get even more points. So you could almost cut what your requirement is in half, just by waiting to do this. And if it's during a CVC like this time, it's a double whammy. Now, kind of torn if you're limited like me. I didn't actually, I ascended a couple. No, I didn't ascend any. I sent a couple on the main, and I used a few books on the main because I have limited resources on this one as far as books go. And I also wanted to keep it in the same realm as the champ training event, to where it's just brews, chickens, and campaign farming, so that I can compare apples to apples and not apples to oranges. But there's quick, easy way during the champ training tournaments. And of course, though, the requirements are way lower, so you're really getting there super fast. You can get this. If you want to, you can go crazy. You can pick up this stuff, but generally, if you're not spending that much and you're on limited resources, not very often you'll win that, unless you decide to skip some fusions, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Save up some resources and go for winning those. And I suggest you try and win those every now and then, because the Relentless is very helpful gear, but it's the only way to get it, unless you want to spend money, and that's the whole point. It's not to spend money. But that's the way to turbocharge champ training tournaments. Again, I'm going to reiterate, don't just blindly go in and think, oh, this is the most efficient way. Kind of question. That's what I did. Is it really the most efficient way? What's most efficient for you? I presented you with some more options. You can take that information I've provided you, and now you can kind of guesstimate which route will be best for you at the time you're going into the fusion and the resources you have. Can you even get the fusion done? Or, yeah, I know I can get it done, but what's going to be the most optimal route? One other little factor, real quick, that you may or may not think of: if you don't have enough shards for the champ training or the summon rush, you need to take that in consideration. Now, summon rush and a champ chase, you can pull mystery shards, and I've done it. I have pulled 3,000 mystery shards. I don't recommend you sitting there just feeding 1-star and 2-star food in there. Remember how I told you 1-star food is 1,600, and then 2-star food is like 3,420 in experience, but then way more experience wasted to turn a 1-star into a 2-star. And either way, converting that into what the energy or XP amount of a brew is crazy ridiculous. You could, if you really wanted to, you got high coin and stuff, you could feed champions in and slowly level up champs to do your champ training. And it may not be a bad idea if you're short on the bigger shards and you're trying to get to whatever level during champ chase or the summon rush. So those are some options there that you got to consider as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope the information is helpful. Have a nice day.